Hey everybody. Today I just wanted to do a video just because we had NI Connect about a week ago. Just wanted to talk about the different kind of LabVIEW events that are out there. Obviously there's a lot of other stuff going on, so I'm not going to be able to highlight everything, but I wanted to highlight the kind of big stuff to be aware of, what they are, where they are. Obviously going to start off just talking a little bit about NI Connect. So this took place last week in Fort Worth, Texas. So this is the big NI event. So this is sponsored by NI. You get a lot of the leadership team from NI there, a lot of different individuals, a whole bunch of different teams. So you're able to interact very heavily with NI. There's all sorts of mixed presentations, right? So you've got presentations by people in NI. Here, if you look, we've got some keynotes. So these are kind of the big presentations done by NI, right? So this is where they're going to be doing things like announcing new products, announcing new, significant changes to things. So, and these are actually recorded. They're uploaded to YouTube. So you're welcome to watch them. So there's all sorts of stuff that they announce. In terms of the future of kind of test and measurement, their different software, hardware platforms, stuff like that. So, for example, this year they kind of demoed these new Field DAC devices. They kind of brought them back, but some enhancements to C-Series cards, different hardware modules. They demoed some of their new AI enhancements with LabVIEW, stuff like that. So yeah, just a good place to find out what's new in LabVIEW, what does the roadmap look like, and to just interact with people from NI. So aside from NI, there's also a whole bunch of different technical sessions. So you can go in and people just present on all sorts of stuff from, demoing how to do different things. They could be talking about security. They could be talking about niche things they've done. All sorts of stuff. So you can see there's all these different presentations on a wide variety of topics that cover basically all of the NI software. So, Test Stand, FlexLogger, LabVIEW, System Link, all sorts of stuff. And there's just a ton of trainings. So, there's more than you can attend. So you kind of have to pick what stuff am I interested in, and focus on that. But there's all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of going to be NI Connect. So again, this is the big NI event. This is like a once a year event, typically in Texas. You have to be there in person. Although most, if not all of these sessions and things get recorded and get uploaded. So a lot of this stuff actually will be available on YouTube later, but you do miss out on the chance to connect with everyone and networking and being able to interact with, some of the LabVIEW experts, some of the people at NI, all of that stuff. So NI Connect is kind of the big NI event. And then there's a whole bunch of other events that are not put on through NI directly. They are supported by NI, but they're kind of done through the community. So next one I wanted to talk about was the next one coming up. So this is going to be the GLA Summit. So the GLA Summit is just a virtual only conference where people present and they basically have this just run around the clock. So you can see, from the 23rd to the 24th of June, and we're just going around the clock. So people from all around the world are going to be presenting. They could be showing off something they've done. They could be sharing something they learned that they want to teach people about, all sorts of different topics. It's all online and it's free. So if you're interested, this is a great place to learn all sorts of stuff. You can go on the website and you can see a lot of the things that have been talked about in the past. So you can see all sorts of different things. And actually, these are available on YouTube as well. If you find something interesting and you want to, you wish you had seen it, it's available there. So all sorts of trainings. And again, it just runs around the clock. So sometimes, stuff is going at, maybe 2 a.m. your time and you don't want to watch it. Well, luckily for you, it will be recorded and you can watch it later. So This is another really good, just, all sorts of stuff, right? And the schedule, this is kind of the 2024 stuff, so they haven't posted 2025 yet. But as it gets closer, you'll be able to see the schedule, and you can see which ones you're interested in to try to catch those or catch the YouTube videos later. So if you're interested in just learning about programming, LabVIEW, all this stuff, I highly recommend you register for the event, so it's on your calendar, and you can get updates as things progress. So yeah, this is a community put together, fully virtual event, and it's really, really cool every year. Next, I wanted to talk about the GDevCons. So the original GDevCon is basically put together by the community. So there's a GDevCon board or committee, whatever you want to call it, and they plan GDevCon. So it's basically a conference, kind of similar to NI Connect in that there's just tons of different technical sessions. So it's not actually something put on by NI directly, although they do support it. And yeah, so you're not going to have, product announcements and stuff by NI, things like that. That's NI Connect stuff. But this is where the community is all coming together and they're creating presentations on things that they want to share on. There will be different workshops available, certification exams, stuff like that. So GDevCon is kind of the original. And this just takes place different places in Europe. So this year is going to be in Brighton in the UK. In September. So, it's been all over the place, Germany, all sorts of places. So every year they kind of pick a different venue. This is kind of the original of the GDevCons. And then kind of spinning off of that, we have GDevCon NA. So this is going to be North America. So, for me, I live in the United States, so this is the event that's much more practical for me to attend. And I've attended it in the past, and it's been fantastic. Same thing, right? We've just got tons of technical sessions. We've got workshops, just great networking opportunity with a lot of LabVIEW people. So if you want to see, right, hey, what's going to be talked about? Well, here's who's presenting, here's what they're presenting on, all sorts of cool stuff. Same thing, we've got GDevCon ANZ, so this is going to be your Australian LabVIEW kind of GDevCon. So, if you find yourself, using LabVIEW in that area, this would be the event to attend. Similar structure, just as all the other ones. And there's one last one that doesn't have their own website yet, to my knowledge, but that's going to be GDevCon Latin America. So this is new. So yeah, there's if you find yourself in Latin America, you're interested, you're like, oh man, I really wish there was a GDevCon. There is a GDevCon for you. So this would kind of be your LabVIEW user group to connect with people nearby you, talk about all things LabVIEW, NI, all that stuff. So GDevCons are fantastic, great way to connect, learn all sorts of stuff. The last thing I wanted to talk about is going to be user groups. And I could actually go a lot more in detail into user groups. I just want to highlight that these exist and what they are. And then, I can do future videos on, more about user groups and whatnot. But essentially, user groups are going to be something local. So different areas are going to have different user groups. And it's just people in that area who use LabVIEW who get together on a regular basis and, they share information, they demo stuff, they, maybe ask questions, just learn from each other and kind of grow as a community. So here I'm just at the NI forums, T5 user groups, and you can actually see a whole bunch of different user groups. So, depending on your area, there's all sorts of different user groups, Bay Area, Chicago, Denver, all sorts of places. So Egypt. There are a lot. I will say it is a little tricky to find, your specific local user group. Because the naming convention isn't super consistent, and some of them use kind of weird acronyms, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what they are. and I'll do some future videos on, hey, if I, how am I going to find my user group? I just wanted to highlight that these exist for now. This is a place to go start looking. If you are interested in the LabVIEW user group, I recommend you reach out to either others in your area who use LabVIEW and see if they have any details. And you can also reach out to NI directly. Eli Carey is really good about connecting you with your group, and he's happy to help you with that. User groups are just fantastic. Just people in the community. This isn't something that NI is presenting to you. It's just people who are able to share stuff, right? Like I learned how to do this, and I want to show you how I learned how to do this. Or, hey, I looked into this technology, and I want to show you how cool it was. Or, anything, right? I want to demo, something, right? And just come together as, local users of LabVIEW and just learn together. So these are a great resource. Typically, meetings are quarterly, but I think it's kind of up to the user group as well. But yeah, just get together, learn, and this is totally free event, so great way to learn. So those are kind of the major LabVIEW events out there. There are lots of other kind of smaller events that go on throughout the year. So you've got kind of NI days, NI Tech days, and there's a whole bunch of other similar things and things that get put on by different distributors like TestForce. So there's actually a lot more going on throughout the year. I just wanted to highlight some of the major ones. So those are going to be your NI Connect, your GLA Summit, and your GDevCons. And then user groups are another fantastic resource as well. And I'll be doing some future videos on what user groups are, what happens at them, how do you find your user groups. If you are interested in starting a user group, how do you start one? So we'll talk about those in a future video, but I hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.